This is Alex Loyalty with Producer Spotlight. We're out here, our Day in the Life series with DJ Five Venoms. We're following him today for the Rolling Loud pre-events.
Rolling Loud, if you're ready for Ski Mask Smoke, man, let me get a fuck yeah!
I started off DJing. I grew up in a town called Williamstown, New Jersey, which is like in between Atlantic City and Philadelphia.
How did DJing transition you into discovering the production world?
I mean, it's the ear, I think, too. It's like knowing what people want to dance to, what people want to listen to, and kind of curating my own version of that. When I'm playing other people's music, it's like, why can't I play my own?
What transitioned you from your DJing, then production, and now you slowly starting to play a growing role in Rolling Loud? Like, how did that journey come about?
So the Rolling Loud thing happened back when I was in Orlando also, and I had met Matt and Tarek through an artist I was actually DJing for. His name was Wes Fifth. So I was DJing for Wes, so they had booked one of their earliest shows before there was a Rolling Loud. They had a company called Dope E&T, and they booked Wes as like a supporting act to help with promotion because he's really known in Orlando, and that's how I met them. And there was a big void for like these, at the time, underground hip-hop shows, and they were just starting to bring and tour these artists, and I'm like, yo, can I DJ these shows? And they're like, yeah, all right, cool. Because at the time, they were working with DJ Dent from Tallahassee, who's like a legend, and he's coming all the way from Tallahassee to Orlando, Tampa, could get expensive, etc. So it's like, yeah, I'm local in Orlando. I can hold down the stage. I had the equipment, and so I got into the swing of like doing all these shows, doing the opening sets, DJing for the opening artists, and connecting with a lot of these artists that are coming through. And at the time, it's like, we're doing like Post Malone in a 400 cap room. And he has like 2 songs, and like we're doing Ski Mask and Denzel Curry, early Playboy Cardi shows, Rob Banks, and it kind of built until like that was like 2010, 2011 when I started working with them, and then 2015 they came, 2015 was like when they came with the idea for Rolling Loud and having like an all hip hop festival based off like the acts that they were touring. Always like with the team, I'm like, bro, I can't believe like we travel the world and do this, like, and we started in like small venues with 200 kids turning up, all the way to doing shows with 100,000 people at it. It's unbelievable. So yeah, we're at the golf tournament, the Invitational, here DJing. Yeah, that's where we're at. It's a beautiful course. This is our second time here. We were here last year too. Unbelievable. It's like with the mountains in the background, beautiful greens. It's a little cold out today, but and rainy. But people are up on the putting green, getting their practices in, going down to the driving range. So
since we're outside of the bulletproof DJ tank, all right, is there a situation that you've ever been in as a producer, DJ, where you're like, damn, I wish I had the bulletproof tank right now? Damn, I really could have used the bulletproof tank right now.
I've never been in like that type of like bulletproof situation, but definitely some nightclubs where fights and bottles and things have been thrown that like, yeah,
Yeah, this seems useful outside of DJing. Like, or if the fans are liking the music, it's just when they start throwing stuff, you just go into the tank.
I've had someone like knock my laptop off of like its stand before, like where it was like hanging. Someone caught it, and like the music never stopped.
You caught it?
No. So I'm DJing like this small bar, but it's like super packed, and there's this guy dancing in front of the booth, but his back's to it. So he's dancing, he's vibing, and he goes like this. Yeah, it was definitely an accident, and it knocked the laptop over, and the only thing holding it was the USB cable, and it like fell over. The tension on the USB cable caught it at the exact point where like the corner of the laptop tapped the ground.
Let's check this out. Oh my God. Producer Spotlight asked that I just simply hold the microphone like that. to make sure that the logo is in the shot.
Pair of shoes, 12.50. You want boss of your life? All you gotta do is get in with me. I don't even pay to get in the club. They know I'm a walking ticket.
Have you gotten to play any of your own music that you produce while DJing?
And I'm lane switches.
We're gonna play some producer-made music right now. That's the benefit to being a DJ and a producer. You get to choose to play your own music.
On my left wrist on froze, look like a bag of ice. I'm driving the Bentley Bentayga.
Look at what I did. Look at what I started. Look how far I came, dog. I ain't had no guy.
What are some producers you've been working with?
Producers I've been working with, they all, I think they all like new. You see what I'm saying?
Like the new generation
I
producers.
work with 50. I mean, I did some 50 shit, but I mean, I don't really got down be doing y'all. I be getting my beats on YouTube, so don't need to be like new. So y'all probably don't know them. You see what I'm saying?
What kind of beats are you looking for right now?
What kind of beats I'm looking for right now? Everything. My favorite producer, Doan.
Who is it?
Doan.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all don't. That's my producer.
Oh yeah. What's your search? What's your main search?
You try to get the sauce. You say what I search on YouTube. I search something like goddamn laser on type beat. Laser on Sun Honey type beat. Yeah.
In like the new producer community or like the rap producer community,
big difference.
There's a lack of understanding of like the actual meaning of the definition of a producer versus a beat maker.
Yeah.
So we just kind of accept anyone who makes beats as a producer, but the true definition would be like what you just said that you did.
And then there's
You're
like
really
levels to it, right? Like there's like the Quincy Jones level of it, where you're like a full-blown musician that plays all these different instruments. But it seemed like Quincy played trumpet and toured in a jazz band around the world and was producing these sets at a very young age. But now you look at like the older version of Quincy where he's sitting back on the couch and he's like, nah, change that snare.
Yeah.
No, play this and this rhythm. No, change the key.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I don't like that part. Move this part here. Take that part out.
Yeah.
Raise that. And there's like that version of being a producer where you're literally orchestrating the sound and how it really is, and the musicians and the voice, like the tones and the style of what that record's gonna be. And I do a little bit of both.
The biggest part of making it in the music industry is just simply like getting your foot in the door, like one way or another. Some people do it through, being a DJ. Some people do it through, going up on social media, etc. Like, what do you think, maybe to an upcoming producer, like what is the best way to do it nowadays, or how did you do it, and I guess what would your advice be?
So my way of getting in was being at service to people. I'll give you a perfect example. So one of my big homies is DJ Q45. I met him back in 2008. I was living in Orlando. I was a Full Sail student, so like I'm at school. I'm learning all about engineering and computers, all types of stuff. I met Q. Q's an amazing DJ, and I'm a fan of other DJs as well that are just like monster DJs. So I meet him. I start interacting with him, and then he's like, man, I have this computer, I'm having issues. I'm like, oh, well, let me check it out. So he came to my crib, tried to fix it. It was just like the CD drive on it was just done, so it wasn't going to work. But he was appreciative, and then like I just started working with him. So I started going to gigs with him, and then eventually I became his assistant because I was helping him with things that he needed help with in a proper way. And I wasn't really like, it wasn't because I was trying to get anything from him back, but it was just to be in the mix and learn. And I think that part of it, at least in the DJ world, we're starting to lose, is like the apprenticeship part of it. Like being a server. The apprentice was like, when I was coming up, is like, yo, I got with another DJ that was doing this thing, and so I would go and carry his bag in, I would set up the equipment, and maybe, he'll let me DJ for like 30 minutes when doors open before people get in there. Yo, good. How you doing?
What is like the normal day structure for you?
So like I'm literally like, I wake up, I go through my morning motions. I'm like a morning person, so like I like getting up at like 6-7 a.m. work out, meditate, stretch. We're talking, and then like kind of get to work. I have every day 8:30 I have a call with my team.
locked in at 8:30. We're on the call. We're talking about what happened, what we gotta do, what we gotta get done today, plans, ideas, opportunities, and then it's kind of like an execute. I like to practice DJing every day. I'm attempting now to start working on production every day as well. Like just getting the habit of working and breaking down the craft, because I know like becoming a DJ, I was DJing every day, and that's what made me better every day. And then like I'm married also, so spending time with my wife is super important to me, because when I am on the road, I'm usually gone and for like long periods of time. So like making sure I get that quality time, making sure she's good and happy and everything is a big part, especially when I'm home. When I started this career, I had expectations on myself of what I wanted to do, like what the lifestyle to me would look like. And I was like, all right, I want to be working at the top clubs, like working 3 nights a week. I want to tour the world. I want to DJ. I want to go on tours. I work with artists. I want to have a great time, money, you know, all that. And it's like, I did it. Like I've been around the world, blessed to be a part of this festival. It's a big platform, and it's open, you know, like outside of the festival, like getting booked in Qatar, Indonesia, Germany, London, like all these countries away from, not because the festival's in town, but no, we want DJ Five Venoms to be in these cities. That's like the dream of me, and I've reached that goal. So now it's like, all right, wow, I hit that goal. Now I gotta go to the next goal, but like thinking smarter to be in these goals and be in this place where it's consistent.
Because there's a time where you did it out of hunger and passion.
Yeah.
And you like had to do it, and now you're comfortable. Yeah. So, and I think every single artist and talent goes through that. What do you do to try to keep it fresh for you?
Change up stuff. Like try new ways of doing it, different music. So it's like, yeah, I know how to DJ hip hop music. I've been DJing hip hop music for years. I know how to play it inside and out, different genres inside of that. But like, why not play around with like Amapiano, and I play around with Afro beats and Latin music, house, all the different forms of house, and like figuring out how to blend in and out of a lot of these things, and just experimenting with like new music, and that's been kind of fun.
So you have a set tonight. Tonight's your official...
Well, tonight's a pre-party. Episode Fridays.
And you're headliner DJ.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So how do you prepare for tonight? Mentally, your sets, did you pre-prepare them?
I don't pre-prepare. I have like go-to records, like the way I organize my computer and I have like in Serato you have like crate, and like you could put like lists of music. So like I'll have like my go-to, like my hit records, everything that's like really current, and the hit. I have like my B's that are like records that have been hits in the past probably, but still like people love to listen to. I have like R&B, I have Afro, I have like everything broken. I have like my underground hip hop that's like the Puya, Suicide Boys that I can go to for that. And so it's almost like different vibes. So like when I go DJ a club, every club's different, every night's different. It could be the same club Friday to Saturday, and it's a whole different vibe. So based on what the vibe is at the club, the market too, because when I come to LA, different than how I DJ in Miami. In LA, they listen to a lot of LA artists, pretty much for the most part, like are only listened to in California, but they are the stars. So when you're listening to those records, they want to hear it. I always hear like the joke about like the out-of-town DJs coming in and not doing their homework, and they come in and think like, I'm gonna play the Snoop and Dr. Dre set, and I'm gonna kill it. And that's like, that is not that is not the route. But like going in and doing your homework, tapping with other DJs in the market. Shout out to like DJ Charisma, Dre Sinatra, hit them, be like, yo, what's the hot record right now, type of thing. That's like a really big thing to like know when you go into a market what music's playing. If I go to Toronto, there's certain music that only in Toronto is being played, but it's the music that they listen to, and they expect to go to the club and listen to it. But you being an out-of-town DJ and you play their music, that's dope.
So I want you to walk us through your set at Rolling Loud. Okay. What's the energy like on a set, and what's your favorite part about putting the set together?
So there's two versions of my sets. I have like my guest sets, and I have like me just DJing, turning up the crowd. I'll talk about the turn up part first. So for me, it's looking at the crowd and seeing like who's there first. And then like a lot of times you're gonna have like the pits and all that type of stuff. So it's like, okay, I know what Rolling Loud fans want to listen to. One of the things that plays into my sets though are who's performing that day, because I don't like to play artists that are performing that day. So if like Playboi Carti's headlining that night, I'm not putting any Playboi Carti into my sets, right? If Sosa's on the show that day, I'm not playing any Sosa, Future, etc. So that also plays a big part. So if we have a super stacked day, it makes my job a little difficult. But I also, before every show, I'll go look and be like, okay, this is the lineup, this is who's not on the show, and then I'll go find like all the bangers that artist or that group of artists that are not on the show are, and then like put that into like a crate. So like at least like if I'm on the run, I'm like, all right, boom, boom, I play this 21 Savage, I can play this, I can play that, and then turn up. But ideally, it's like I know what the classic records are. Like, you know, XXX Tentacion, like Look At Me is a guaranteed turn up. Like, you know, Finito's a guaranteed turn up. Like, Boss by Lil Pump is a guaranteed. Like, there's certain records in like the Rolling Loud culture, they never fail. Like, Mosh Pit's open. Cardi right now is just a go-to. King Carson. It's kind of going to those records, and for me, in my mind, it's a lot. It's actually really simple, and it feels like I'm cheating, but it's just that plain. It's like you play these hit bangers, they open up the pits, energy super high, and they go.
What's your favorite part of your set?
I really do love like when those pits open up. Like, I love the energy. Like when they're giving me the energy back, it just keeps it going and flowing. We had this past Vienna show was amazing because I have a job sometimes where artists don't want to go up against other artists. So like there's not a lot of artists that want to be on like stage 2 or 3 up against Playboi Carti or Travis Scott. So sometimes I get that job. And
I've seen that. I'm like, oh, this is
it's just like sometimes, and then sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. So like there'll be like times it's like, yo, I'm going up against Future on stage 2. There's no everyone's at Future, so he's the headliner, right? But there was an instance in Vienna where I was going up against Nicki Minaj, and she was the headliner for that day, but the next day was Playboi Carti. Nicki Minaj is a little bit different from the Playboi Carti genre, right? So I had a lot of fans at that festival at my stage because I could play Playboi Carti because he's not on that day, and it was insane. I had like 20,000 people at this stage going nuts, going insane.
And I'm wondering, because my next question, I feel like this might be it, is what's your most memorable Rolling Loud moment?
Man, probably one of my most memorable probably involves X, because I didn't know who he was, and then he became who he is. So it was the 2016 Rolling Loud, and so we're in Mana and Wynwood, and there's 3 stages. There's the main stage that's outside, there's a stage 2 that's inside the building, and then they had this tent stage, and this tent stage was literally like a box. It had a 6-foot table next to it and the DJ equipment on. It had 1 security guard. It was only meant to hold like 200 kids the entire weekend, like at one time. And this is 2016, right? So this is before like the SoundCloud was there, but it was just like, it was like Denzel was hot, Uzi, Cardi were hot, Yachty like just came out, but like that new Florida, like Raider Clan had already been, you know, like that happened, but like the new movement of it, like the X, the Skis, Lil Pump, Smoke Perp. And so we had the small stage, and those guys were on this small stage. So literally the entire day I was stuck on stage 2, doing in-betweens and DJing for artists, and I was just there as like the house DJ just in case. And then they're like, I think Tarek came, he's like, yo, I need you on stage 3, or the stage 3 to relieve whoever was over there. I was like, all right, cool. So I go over there, and all that was just like a lot of independent, just really artists, like local Miami artists that like really didn't have like followings really, but they wanted to perform at the festival. So they're handing me thumb drives, plugging them in my computer, play their songs back, cool. So I get over there, this random kid comes up to me, he's like, yo, what time is X go on? I'm like, X? And I look at the set list, I'm like, oh, he goes on like 8:30. All right, cool. So I'm there like probably like 6, so like 8:30, around 8:30 comes, and like mind you, like the whole entire time, like there's not many kids in this tent. 8 o'clock, it starts filling up. I'm like, oh, okay. 8:30 comes, bro. There's 1,000 kids at this tent.
This kid comes up to me, hands me a thumb drive. He's like, yo, play the first song. I plug it in, hit play. It's Look At Me, and it's X. And I was like, and the place went nuts. Insane. Like, I think that was probably one of the most memorable things. I also got my backpack stolen that same time. This kid was sitting next to me, stole my backpack and like hid it somewhere. And then like X was like threatening the crowd to find my backpack, which was crazy. But like, that was my first time meeting X, but like seeing the effect that he had in the Miami scene and just the music and like what that became is insane.
What's your favorite year of Rolling Loud of all the years?
2017.
2017.
Yeah, that's the flagship one. As like Bayfront Park. Headliners were Future, A$AP Rocky, Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, Post Malone were on the other stage. Run the Jewels, X, Pump Smoke Perp were on that. Playboy Cardi, Uzi jumping. That was the Kendrick was Kung Fu Kenny, so it was like right after the project dropped. Lil Yachty, Ski Mask, Wi-Fi's Funeral, Rob Banks. It was just stacked. The who's who at that time was on that show, and it was just unbelievable. And like the whole industry was there. Like, yeah, it was incredible. That was the one that like kind of like I think like made us like a world brand, like where people recognize like, oh, there's a hip hop festival that has this crazy lineup and they're killing it.
Oh, before we go though, what do we have here?
Oh, we got some of the Five Venoms.
Box I can take.
Yeah. The whole line, the Pack Bros box right there, but you know the M&M's, Pack Bros, but it's that Five Venoms.
I see one that said, I don't remember.
Yeah, smoking a Five Venoms pack is not an insult to me. It's a
the centipede.
Right.
Please smoke the
fair disclaimer.
smoke them Five Venoms packs.